So guys, I had to restart ZBrush. So I think this gives us the opportunity to show you how to load a file into ZBrush again to show. So first Control N, because I did this. Then I will close this by double clicking here, this side panel, and then we are left with this. So now, without closing this light box, we can close it, we can open it, it doesn't matter, but it's there. We can go to Load Tool. So in Tool menu, Load Tool, because we are saving from Save As in Tool menu. Now we are loading, Load Tool. Let's go to our absolute beginner ZBrush tutorial and this file, I think. So now nothing happens. In order to put the file into your canvas, you have to drag it in. And when you drag it, you can start working. So you drag again and what happens? Okay, basically you have to press Edit here, Edit Object, which is T, the T key. Or press just Edit Object. And now you can rotate your object, but you cannot see it. Why? Because you have all those objects above it. So let's disable lightbox or just close it. And yeah, this is our object, obviously, but the others are also there. What to do? Control N is just new. Control N. I don't know if there's a button here for Control N, but Control N basically is making this emptying all your canvas from the things that you don't need. And now we can click on this material here and get our basic material, or we can just click on our basic material here to give it to the object. And of course, one more thing we have to do is to put our image here. So go to Texture, Import, and I think it was the crop. Yes, open it. Now go to Texture again, click on it, and put Add to Spotlight, this button here, Add to Spotlight. Press it. Wow, we have it. And now with this button in the top a little bit right, we have this, which we can touch and then drag on the sides. We can make it smaller or bigger. We will make it smaller and put it on the side right here. We don't need it because the sword we will make it later, and we put it here by dragging inside this circle. Inside we drag, not in the center, because from the center, from the exact center here in this orange circle, we'll drag and move the circle itself. And then from here, you know, it's taking a little bit practice to get used to it. So now I'll press just Z on my keyboard to hide this circle and start working. But if you remember, by Z you can make the circle appear again. But if you remember, we have to do one more thing, which is go to Brush, because our brushes won't work, most of them, and turn down Spotlight Projection, which is the fourth menu, first, second, third, and fourth menu, samples, and then at the bottom just turn this down. And now we are ready to continue working. Now let's continue working on our legs. So I'm constantly changing my brushes through my short keys, which I recommend you to. But if you are not comfortable using short keys, you can change them from here, of course. It will be slower, but in the beginning you won't be that much that fast anyway, so maybe it will not be that bad for you. So I'm using now move brush mostly the move brush, and trying to achieve some result, which is a base form for the legs. They are a bit, yeah, we have to achieve a base form that we will like for these legs. And I see we have here some kind of fabric in here, and also from the back we'll have some kind of a fabric also. But and I will tell you how to do this fabric. It will be very easy, but it will be later. Now I need to see how I will align the legs with the rest of the body, because here we have some empty nothing, some void, and we'll have to try to put the legs so they are I'm not sure how we will do it, but in the concept, they're going outward. The armors are going outward. But this is here, and probably some very tiny legs are starting from there. Who knows? But we'll have to do it as the concept, because it's looking kind of good. So I won't argue with the concept artist in this one. And I'm, yeah, sometimes I was about to say that I rarely argue with the concept artist, but sometimes it happens. I do it sometimes. So now, as we know a lot of things, I can show you just a bit more advanced things. Probably you're ready for this. A bit more advanced things like, for example, I want to make, let's disable perspective. I want to make this bottom of the legs very flat. How to do that? It will be, first I will go to Dynamesh. Let's try resolution of 48 for the legs. It's a little bit too much, but not too much, so it's cool. And I will smooth them with shift. Just shift dragging around to smooth them. And now I will make this kind of thing, and this with the down standard brush. This is with Alt here because I'm making it inward, and this is with just the brush on Z mode. Now I'm using high polish brush to make this flat, so because this is an armor. Then I will use here the down standard brush again, and here we may need to make this separate part, the knee armor. But we'll see about that. Probably we will make it a separate part. Why not? It will be cool. Maybe here we will have some kind of a area like this, and here. Yeah, just using the brush. You know, this tutorial is about the tools. Mostly about tools. It's not about how to make the character or stuff, but I can tell you a few things about the character creation. You have to be careful about the silhouette mostly. The silhouette of the character is, especially a character with this defined silhouette, is very important to have a good silhouette, you know, and that's what you have to be careful about. So we will be taking care of the silhouette mostly. I'm just yet to realize how big I want to make these legs, how fat. So I will again, yeah, I didn't tell you what I did. So I did this. I pressed W, this is Q. So Q, we are returning to our basic brush, whatever brush we are on. And W, we have the pivot. Then with Alt and drag on these angles here, I'm moving the pivot, and then I'm just rotating without Alt, just rotating, and then Q and move brush, and I'm moving this around. So from the side view, he looks a bit strange, but that's because he is going forward with his body, and he looks like he will fall. Probably he won't fall, but who knows. So for the advanced thing I was talking about, let's see what I can tell you. Let's make those a bit shorter, and this a little bit shorter too. Yeah, we have to adjust it until we get it right, until I feel it's good. Now I don't feel it's nice enough, so I may have to inflate it. Let's see it the same size, and yeah, we'll have to inflate this part here and this part a bit, but just a bit inflation. So if we see, this is yeah, this is kind of the same, this is kind of the same, but this part is too low, so let's put it up. And I think this is better. This is definitely better. Those things we can just turn them like this. and those hands will be definitely bigger. So again, I'm using Alt click to go between my my subtools, and then I am just working. And you'll notice that I am sometimes speaking not softly but slowly, because it's kind of difficult. It's not super difficult for me, but it's kind of difficult to work and talk at the same time. Bear that in mind and don't judge me too harshly about this. So now this will be the hands. They are looking good. One of the hand we will pose with the sword probably at some point, but for now it's this. Yeah, the legs are pointing in some directions, but they are basically this shape that we want them to be. And I think now we'll do the advanced thing that I was talking about. We'll disable perspective for this one. So now go to Control Shift, and Control Shift, you know, is for this type of thing: hiding geometry, showing geometry, and showing everything. So let's go over that again. So Control Shift and dragging, and everything you cover with that with that green rectangle will be shown, and everything else will be hidden. If you want to hide something from this now, Control Shift and then Alt click, and it will become red, and then it will hide. And if we want to reverse our view, we can show the hidden parts and hide the shown parts. We have to drag, 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 and every time we drag with Control Shift pressed, we do this. And then if you want to show everything, just Control Shift click. And that's basically the thing. So now Control Shift, and you see we have here Select Rect Brush with Control Shift pressed. I'm pressing it now. And then we can click on it while pressing the Control Shift and go to Clip Curve Brush. Those are brushes that we can use when Control Shifting. Then Clip Curve Brush, and now I will release Control Shift and we go to High Polish again. Then when we press Control Shift, we go to Clip Curve Brush, and Clip Curve Brush is working like this, dragging from right to left, and then with space I'm moving it, and then it will flatten everything from the brush, from the line down. It will flatten everything up to the line. So now the polygons are there. It's not cut, it's just flattened. And I will smooth it, and it's going to be like this. So that's how I'm making all the legs of my character step exactly on the ground. That's the thing. That's the secret. So bear in mind, and I don't want this brush anymore, so I will Control Shift click and change again to Select Rect Brush. Select Rect. Tool or brush. Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. I will smooth now this, and what I want to do is make those knee armor. How can I make it? It's pretty straightforward. I will make solo because I want to make them here, and I will mask a bit of an area here. So the masking area will be like this. It's not gonna be too much mask area. We need a bit. And the form, the shape of those kneecaps, we can change it, no problem, wherever we want. So I'll do this mask by Control dragging. If I want to, you know, I'm making smaller or bigger my brush with bracket keys. I always use bracket keys, but you can go here and just, you know, do it from there. It doesn't matter. So now Control Alt drag will just delete the mask, and Control click, 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 click. Yeah, sometimes the click becomes drags and the mask is gone. But our point is we need this. I'm just refreshing your memory about the masks and stuff. So here we go to Subtool, we go to Geometry again, but Geometry is we don't need now. We go to Extract. On the bottom of Subtool menu is the Extract, and we just extract. and then we drag it and it disappears. So extract and then accept. We have to accept it. If we don't accept it, it wouldn't happen. So now you notice this gave us a few polygroups, and we can start working with polygroups again. Control Shift click on a polygroup will hide every other polygroup in this subtool. So here we have 3 polygroups: outside, this border one, and inside. And the outside and inside, they look the same, but they are not. So Control Shift click on the outside and we hide everything except for this polygroup. And this, since this is symmetry, they are the same polygroup. So now we just go to del hidden, because we want to delete those hidden polygons or polygroups. Del hidden, and then we go to, let's try on the lowest setting, ZRemesher. Most of the time I do it on the lowest settings because it's much easier to modify with the move tool afterwards. So I modify it a bit with the move tool, but I kind of like the geometry that it's now. It's maybe a lucky thing, but the geometry is very good, so I can use it to make this lip, this kind of thing that is also part of the silhouette. So it's very important. So let's try from here. And yeah, from the because the arms are obstructing our way, I will have to hide them by just clicking on the eye icon here. It will be easier if you hide some parts of your object instead of trying to work around them. If they are on your way and you have to work, just hide them and then you will very easily show them again. It's pretty easy. So now, if you're wondering why I'm seeing my my polygons, it's because of the polyframe is on. Yeah, I know that probably if you're watching this tutorial, you're completely new to ZBrush, so I'm repeating everything many times, so it will be embedded into your head. Hopefully, we'll see. So I want to now mask this area, and the bottom one too probably will mask both because this is going here. We'll see. So we go to the Z modeler brush in order to mask, and we go to this edge or this edge, it doesn't matter, but mostly this edge, and mask edge loop complete, and then we click and we see we have masked all around the edge. So we reverse the mask, and now I will press my pivot, and I pressed now W and my pivot is not here. So if you press W and your pivot is not here, it's someplace else. Yeah, it's there. But if you cannot see the pivot now and you need it to be here, you just alt click somewhere on the model. Even here we can, no, it's not that. So alt click on the subtool, yeah, and then the pivot will appear, but you have to adjust it because it will appear as a normal to the surface you clicked on. So if I click alt here, it will appear there. If you alt click here, it will be there. So bear that in mind. I'll have to alt click this and then this. So the pivot will go first, reset the orientation of the pivot, and then go to unmasked mesh center. So alt this and then alt this. And then we can just drag this in front and adjust it and make it bigger, probably. But when you're resizing things that are symmetrical, you have to be careful. I will Control Z a few times. Put local symmetry on. It will be much better. And now we can resize it, and we can alt rotate, then resize like this. And yeah, since it's masked, I can also do it manually with a big move brush and just move it like this. And the bottom one is not that pronounced, but I will do it anyway. And make it more squarish in this area. And I think it's starting to look nice. Of course, we will disable the mask by control dragging, and then I will be with the big move brush, I will put it closer to the legs themselves, because it was a bit on the far side, and now it's looking almost like the concept. Of course, we need more work to be able to do it as in the concept, because the concept is good. And as good as you make your model, as well it will be received in the community. If you put a lot of work on it, it will be visible, especially if your work is good, of course. And then you can expect more to sell yourself, like your work, more expensively. You will have job offerings and stuff. So, but don't think about it now. Think about just practicing with ZBrush, because ZBrush is a very good program. You can express your creativity very good with ZBrush. Of course, with Photoshop you can do it also, but this is 3D, and it's for me it's a little bit more fun to be able to go around the object, to be able, after I make this, to go ahead and print it, for example, which is a very nice option. Print it in 3D printer. Of course it's expensive, but you will have something that you can touch that is made by you, which is very nice, and I like that. So yeah, we should see the hands, they're looking good, perspective, and the model is starting to look pretty nice. And we'll have to go to the other video now. Just end this and go to the other one. But for now, thank you and goodbye.